cop cars and stuff are weird here. Make that funny noise too. Anywho, day 2 in Paris. Up pretty early. It's only about 9 a.m. local time, which I think it's like midnight in California, which makes it kind of a strange time to set out. But check out Le Petit Palais over here. Petit seems like an odd word for it, but it's only called that because right across the way is Le Grand Palais, which clearly is under some construction at the moment, but definitely dwarfs this one, which is also a giant, cool building. Look at this. That is gorgeous. What a building. So it is an art museum. And get this, it's free to get in. Can't believe it. I was totally expecting to have to pay a good bit, but wow, what a building. This place is amazing. The roof, just the ceiling in here, absolutely mind-blowing. All the artwork painted onto it, carved into it. Quite a sight. These two chicks getting into it. Guy really captured the mid-fight vibe. Looks like she's holding a pine cone there. Have to use it as a weapon. Man, it's really just amazing murals, paintings in here. They're so big too. You just gotta kind of step back and really look at them. Quite beautiful. And it was almost empty in there. God, the Louvre is the most crowded place on the planet today, I think. A Petit Palais. Kind of got the place to yourself. Pretty cool. Man, what a beautiful place, though. Bunch of parks and like running and biking trails. Everybody seems to be out here exercising at this hour. Good for them. Beautiful view of the river, though. Got the Eiffel Tower looming in the distance, pretty much from anywhere in the city. We're going to be coming up on the Place de la Concorde, which is definitely one of the sites that made my list. This is the infamous location where Marie Antoinette was beheaded, King Louis XVI was beheaded, and thousands of other people in the French Revolution. They thought this was like the humane way to kill people in public by chopping their heads off. But it was quite the public spectacle back in the day, not too entirely different from our Americanized hangings that we loved in those days. But in this case, head was cut off. Oftentimes it was lifted out of the basket and kind of shown to the audience. Definitely a good bit of construction going on in the whole city, kind of, but including the Place de la Concorde right here. Scaffolding and tarps aside, still pretty cool to stand in the place where tens of thousands of people were beheaded for a cheering audience during the French Revolution and shortly thereafter. Kind of makes you wonder how old some of these stones are that I'm walking on. They look pretty darn old. Are these the same ones that people were walking on their way to see heads roll, literally? Ooh, creepy. History's fascinating sometimes. Springtime, so the trees are just starting to get some of their greenery back, but even in their dead state, you can still see the perfectly meticulous nature of the square cutting. Pretty well done. I've only seen that one other place in the world, and it's at Disneyland. I have no doubt they got their inspiration from over here in Europe. Yeah, working our way over toward the Louvre area. A lot of interesting buildings and stuff over there I'm hoping to check out, including the entrance to the Louvre itself, that famous pyramid. But working our way through this massive garden, or at least that's what they call it on Google Maps, really almost more of a giant park. But God, this is nice. All these dirt paths for like running and stuff. There's tons of people out just jogging. But man, what a beautiful place to do it. It's kind of a runner's paradise here. I love having dirt underfoot to jog on. So much more forgiving than pavement. And just about every building here has some historic significance, and most of them are just giant, ornate marvels of just architectural prowess. They really take it seriously here. And the Louvre, of course, is no exception. This amazing pyramid out front. I'm told it has 666 panes of glass on there, which seems like a bit of an ominous number. And as you can see by these long lines of people, there is a tremendous wait to get into the Louvre. Even if there wasn't, honestly, it didn't excite me that much. If you want to see it, there's a lot of YouTube videos of the Louvre out there. Knock yourself out, but it's not for Tony. I see we are getting near the bus depot area. They got these hop-on, hop-off bus fares. Look at the Notre Dame up there. Bus swings you by a lot of the major sites here in Paris. Kind of just enjoy them from your seat here in the open-top bus. Really just no shortage of cool stuff to look at out here. Pretty much everywhere you go, there's something photo-worthy, something big and impressive and just architecturally amazing. One of the hot spots in town for sure. And no, I don't mean that carousel, though that does look pretty cool. We are at the foot of the Eiffel Tower. Glared out from the sun, but still a pretty amazing thing to sit and marvel at. And it's quite big. I have only seen the Las Vegas version before, which is still pretty cool in itself, and it has a restaurant in it, but man, this one's a lot bigger. Alright, hopped off of the bus, made my way over to the Chapelle, 13th century chapel, and this is widely considered to be the best display of stained glass on the planet, and I'm pretty darn excited about seeing this one. Okay, made our way inside the Chapelle chapel. This is just the ground floor here, not quite the main show. It's only 11.5 euros. Pretty reasonable if you ask me. Got some very nice coloring going on with all this original 800-year-old stained glass. Very beautiful. Alright, we'll go ahead and head on upstairs to the main show, as it were. Holy shit. Wow. Like, wow. Yeah. This is amazing. Man, this is just... I can't even... I'm speechless. Look at just the incredible detail on each and every one of these little things. And there's so many. Wow. Got these little pages you can look at that describe to you what's being depicted in each of these. I gather that each one of these tall windows is its own little Bible story or whatever. So feel free to pause here if you want to read about them. Man, this is some claustrophobic shit in here. Oh man, that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It's like the oldest comic book ever, printed into glass, about Jesus and all his friends. So beautiful though. Perfect time of day too. Sun coming through nicely. Just amazing. Yeah, and even just the grounds outside as well. Really just such a beautiful area. I swear every building here is just built with such deliberate intent on making it visually pleasing. They do a wonderful job at it. So Notre Dame being closed, kind of a bummer. Wouldn't have minded going in. You might have heard it burned down damn near a few years back. Not going to be open until 2024. Is pretty impressive from the outside. Certainly still draws a crowd. But oh man, a Chapelle. Goodness, what a thing. I feel like every bit of stained glass I've ever seen up until now was just building up to see that, because that was absolutely amazing. Well worth the 12 bucks. Cheap Heinekens everywhere here. They're practically giving these things away. Pretty sure you can't drink in public though, so I'm gonna duck out for a spell. So we worked our way south from the Ile de la Cité, which is where the Notre Dame and the Chapelle were. Kind of just wandering around. Pretty cool church over here, and ooh, looks to be open. Let's check it out. Really beautiful stained glass. Man, look at all these really intricate carvings on the steps and everything. God, even this one's pretty amazing. You didn't even have to pay to get in here. Ooh, it's a good-sized organ. Just another 15th century church. Original stained glass. There's so many of them here. There's nobody even inside there, and you don't even have to pay to get in. It's ridiculous. I would draw a crowd in a lot of places. Crazy looking building here is known as the Pantheon. Check this out. If I didn't see people laying on that, I would have no idea what that's for. It's just like a little, little lounge platform. Never seen one of those before. Ooh, man, really impressive looking building. This thing is huge. Look how much detail there is in each and every one of these little pillars. So much intricate carving. The whole city is full of this. It's really amazing. So these buildings here on the left side of the road, I gather this is the Sorbonne University, which is the oldest college in Paris. This was about as old as all the other crazy things we've seen today. This was established in the 13th century, which makes it a heck of a lot older than any school we have in America. Hopped back on our tour bus. God, I love how they got all these weird little kind of shops here along the river, just kind of contained in these little green boxes. It's pretty cool. I wonder how they regulate that. Made our way back to the Champs-Élysées, perhaps the most famous street in all of Paris, and one of the oldest as well. There's like a shortage of police bikes riding tandem. And chilling up here on the Pont Alexandre III, the bridge of Alexander III. Oh my god, look at these tour boats. Holy shit, that's a lot of people. Oh, look at this down here. Got this little restaurant here set up on the water. Anyway, as I said, the bridge named after the Russian Tsar of the late 19th, early 20th century. Named after him to commemorate the alliance between the two after the Franco-Prussian War. A brief period of cooperation between France and Russia. And together with Great Britain, the three formed the Triple Entente, which certainly did not last forever. Around the time of World War I and the Russian Revolution, they kind of bowed out of the whole thing and became the Soviet Union. Having a look at some of these foundations and supports here under this old bridge. Cool scene under here. I think it's cool you can kind of just walk under it. So many paths here and stuff along the Seine River. Some of those buses we've been utilizing right across the street from the National Assembly. It's an integral part of French Parliament, and this is actually, in this building, is where we get the terms left and right politically. The left-wing parties literally sat on the left side of the building, and what we now know as the right wing sat on the right. So that's where that came from. Noticed a lot of the buildings here in France, and even some of these boats here, have grass and like plant life on the roof. Look at this, there's like a badly kept lawn on the roof of this boat. Pretty weird. Yeah, we made our way back over to the south end of town. Looks to be some kind of weird shopping mall in here. Might as well check it out. I've never seen a French mall before. Ooh, French mall. Man, this place is bustling. I believe there's a train station in here as well, which kind of explains part of the crowds, but awfully nice looking. Directly across from one of Paris's few skyscrapers. There aren't very many tall buildings here, but this one's pretty huge. Got some nice lighting accents as well. 60 floors. There's a gentleman here about to make me up a street crepe. Opted for the savory type. Got some eggs, ham, and cheese on there. I'm hungry. It is much like a pancake. At least the crepe part. It's got egg and cheese and ham in it. Oh, that's the stuff. $6. Not bad. Man, I've been wandering around for blocks and blocks trying to find some good cheap street food. All of a sudden, it's everywhere. I get that crepe. Right next door is pizza slices. Pretty good too. And right next to that is falafel. My God, it's everywhere all of a sudden. That's gonna about do it for tonight. Hope you enjoyed hanging out with me in Paris, checking out some of the main sights here in town. God, there's a lot of scooters here. But anyway, please click like if you enjoyed it. Talk to you later. I suppose that's a wheelchair ramp. All the staircases have them. Anyway, good night all.